Hi, my name's Angela Holtberg. I'm a Global Sustainability Director with Connie, and I'm here today with Marcela Porto from Suzano. Welcome, Marcela.
Thank you so much.
So you are the Global Director of Communications and Institutional Sustainability at Suzano, but I think for the audience, maybe tell them a little about what the company does and yeah, what you do.
Sure, of course. Well, Suzano is the largest pulp producer in the world. And we are also leaders in the production of paper. In Europe, for instance, 1/3 of every toilet paper, every tissue consumed comes from our pulp. We are mostly based in Brazil, so most of our operations are there. And the way we produce all this pulp to the world, which reaches almost 2 billion people around the world, is we do that in almost 3 million hectares of areas. From that, 1 million is only native trees, native areas designated to conservation, and we only operate in 1.9 million hectares.
So we're probably all customers of yours. We just don't know about it, right?
For sure. I would say at some point during your day, you're using some of either our products or byproducts from our pulp.
And that's interesting because we don't always think about all the companies we interact with,
sure.
right? In how we consume. And obviously, you're in Brazil, and you said 1/3 of all toilet paper in Europe comes from you guys. And I think this is a connection that not many make. So and we don't always hear either about companies from other parts of the world, like South America and all the work they do. So can you tell us a bit about how Suzano is working on sustainability? I know you have some pillars, foundations of your work. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we have a very different business model than the ones currently in Europe and the United States. Usually when you think about the forestry sector, you think about companies that manage native trees in order to produce pulp and paper, but in our case, it's really, really different. We only produce pulp out of trees that we plant. So in those almost 9 million hectares, we plant over 1 million trees every day, and we harvest those trees for the production of pulp. Brazil, as we all know, has a really blessed environment to agriculture. So we have many tree farms, and the way we do it is we intersperse the tree farms with conserved areas. This way, we have not only the preservation of biodiversity, but also all sorts of natural resources that are so important for the success of our tree farms. So it's basically that. Sustainability is really intertwined with our business model. We say that we almost all the time operate natural capital. So sustainability has been for many years, and we turn 100 years in 2024. Sustainability has been for most of our history really an integrating part of our business. We do have 15 long-term goals, which we call our commitments to renewing life. And those goals go all the way from water conservation to waste management, for example. But some of the ones that are really dear to us are the ones connecting to biodiversity and to people. So just to give you 2 examples, we have a long-term goal that until 2030, we are going to lift 200,000 people out of poverty line.
Oh, wow.
We usually operate, since we're so big and usually operating on farms, we operate in very remote areas, often unassisted by the basic needs that we all have. So we face every day poverty surrounding our operations, and it's our commitment to lift 200,000 people out of poverty. And just to sum it up, the other commitment that we really love is the one connecting to biodiversity. So until 2030, we're going to connect 500,000 hectares of fragments of native areas in the Amazon, Cerrado, and Mata Atlântica into ecological corridors to make sure that the fauna and the biodiversity as a whole can thrive.
Wow. So I think this is something I know at least I don't think about when I use a tissue. The fact that the one making the pulp for the tissue wants to lift 200,000 people out of poverty, planting a million trees a day. I think that's really amazing. But what you mentioned here, right, that's no simple task, right? And building an eco corridor of that size, it seems like it's the kind of thing that takes a lot of investment, right? And we've been talking a lot about money here at COP, public-private partnerships, global north to global south. But being a business and having been in business for 100 years, and congratulations on the anniversary. How do you invest? How much do you invest, and why do you spend so much money on this?
We do invest a lot, and we do that often through our own resources, but we also do that through partnerships. So in the corridors long-term goal, for example, most of the areas where we are connecting those fragments are not really Suzano's areas, but other landowners' areas where we go, we dialogue, we show them the importance of really connecting those fragments, and we help them with resources, including and also NGOs and other partners on the territory to make sure that we are all aligned and making those partnerships. But obviously for companies, I believe Suzano has taken a good advantage in the good sense over the last years in terms of green finance, for example. So nowadays, over 40% of our debt is connected to delivering on sustainability goals. So we have been pursuing this route because we know that in-house we really value sustainability, and that's pivotal for our business. But when you think about big negotiations such as this one, for us, for businesses, it's really important to have frameworks, to have more predictability on return on our investments. It's really important to have frameworks that work, that are transparent, that have clarity on what it is that is really valued, so we can really make money flow towards what really pays back to the business. So for us, I think it's clear because, again, operating natural capital, we ourselves, we have our internal value on nature. But obviously, when you talk to other partners, sometimes it's harder to value that.
So basically what you're saying is you're investing in the future, because this is capital that you, nature capital that you need to stay in business for another 100 years then.
For sure, and I think we do that inside our fence, but we are also striving to do that outside of our fence. So I can give an example. For our centenary, we decided to celebrate investing on a legacy project for the next 100 years. So we thought that education for sustainability is a platform where we can really invest, that has a lot of fit with our business and our values. And we've been partnering with universities in Brazil and abroad. I was just last week signing a partnership with University of Cambridge, where we are investing in research, because sustainability needs data, it needs science, and it needs investment in research, but also investment in future leaders of sustainability from private and public sectors to make better decisions from now and into the future. So we're trying as a company and as a global leader of our sector to be more and more active and more proactive, working outside of the fence as well.
And that is for sure a legacy that will lead on. And again, I'm baffled by the connection of like forest in Brazil going into my toilet paper, leaving, tons of people educated for the future. I think that's a fascinating chain to think about. We're obviously here at COP29, and you talked about how you have to look outside the fence, right? You don't operate in a vacuum. We've talked a lot during the conference about the role of policy and what we need to see come out of this COP to support the green transition. So what's on your wish list this year for outcomes leaving this conference? What do you hope that COP29 can achieve?
I think good frameworks with clarity and predictability are really essential. So this is one thing. And the other thing, there's a lot of expectation on COP30, and I think it would be really crucial to have a strong momentum from here all the way into COP30. There's a lot to be prepared for us to get there and be able to sign important agreements. Brazil as a whole, but I'm sure the global community is really expecting that out of COP30. So to build momentum from now until then, I think is crucial. I really hope we can come out of this COP with a lot accomplished and a lot done for us to be able to come to COP30 and start seeing an inflection in this curve that we know is all going to a bad direction. So we want that to be a turning point, and for that we need to leave COP29 with strong agreements.
And you're right, of course, for companies such as yourself to invest, we need reliable, cross-border, long-term regulation.
Yeah.
So we know the rules by which we play, right? So
For sure.
I agree with you. Let's hope to see that coming out of this. And then I suppose we'll see each other again at COP30
For sure.
in Brazil.
For sure.
Thank you so much for
Looking
coming and
forward to
sharing
that.
your efforts with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.